Good morning. I want to talk about whistles and using them with commands for your dog. What I'm going to do is I'm going to explain why they're needed, but then I'm going to tell you which ones work the best, okay, and where to get them. So first of all, I think it's important to understand that whistles really pierce the ambient noise. And sometimes ambient noise is dogs barking, is cars going by. I think having something that can get in your dog's ear so that they know that you're calling them, so that they know that you're asking them to do something, I think there is tremendous value to that. All right? Second, they really carry far. They carry much farther than does your voice. I have whistled a border collie into a down on sheep from 2 kilometers away in a big field. It takes a while for it to get to them, so you really need to anticipate what you're trying to do, in this case sheep movement, but you hit the whistle and 6 seconds later that dog goes down. So that's the beauty. 2 things: cuts through the ambient noise and carries a long way. How do we implement it? New cue before existing cue. So when you use a whistle, you use the whistle that you want for that particular command, and then you give the verbal command. And you pair them until the dog starts to realize that both mean the same thing. Okay? So, kind of 3 kinds of whistles. There is a single tone whistle. This is a silent whistle, but it does make a bit of a sound. Single tone just has one sound. You could pair it with dog commands by whistling twice or whistling 3 times or whistling a long tone, but it only has one tone. And these are just the typical whistle you get off Amazon, okay? They have their place, especially if you only want it for one thing, like the Rico. The one that I used when I started herding sheep is this half moon whistle. It's got an orifice drilled through 2 plates, and I'm not as good at this as I used to be, and there are different types of whistles obviously, but I'll leave a link to where you can get one of these. These are a little difficult to learn to use, but it usually comes quite quickly. There are benefits to these. One, if you learn to whistle with your fingers, which is the next thing I'm going to talk about, your fingers can get dirty, especially when you're out working with sheep or just working with your dog in the field or going on walks. Your hands can be dirty. So these can hang around your neck and they stay basically clean and they can be disinfected. That's the good part. Moving to your fingers though, which is the third, hey buddy, which is the third category of whistle, has a bunch of advantages. One, you always have your fingers with you, I hope. 2, your fingers can be louder, a lot louder than one of these. And 3, the subtlety of the tone is much more controllable, okay? The downside of whistling with your fingers is that sometimes it takes a while to learn. Now I had a 6-month posting where boredom was my biggest problem, and I decided I was going to learn to whistle with my fingers instead of using one of these. And honestly, it took 4 months to learn how to whistle with my fingers. But it's much better. Hello, buddy. Little fingers, more dexterity, finer sound. Bigger fingers, hey bud. Hey bud. Bigger fingers, bigger sound. Much bigger. All right, so I'll summarize. Standard whistle, silent or not silent, but one tone. To me, those are good for one thing. Maybe you choose the recall. And if that's your choice, it's a good choice. Okay, and it's still a valid tool. 2 is a half moon whistle. Okay, multiple tones. Can be quite loud. Stays clean, cleaner than your fingers for sure, and has kind of a medium learning curve. All right. Finally, your fingers. Always with you, so that's handy. Can get dirty, not so handy. Much better tone, much better distance. Teach your dog some whistle commands for a recall, for a down. Those two in particular are super important. The recall is obvious, but the down you can use if the dog is coming back to you and there is a hazard between, like a car coming down the street when they're on the other side. I will put links to all of the whistles in this video, except for the fingers, which everybody hopefully has. And like and comment if you have any questions. Thank you.